The Warriors take on the Pelicans, and that's going to be an 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off on Thursday, January 6, 2022. Golden State's the 3-point favorite with the total at 213.5. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at BOS-NYK. Now, we're currently 2-0 in our last couple of extra daily picks on that very same webpage. And the good news is we have another extra daily pick going off here today. And if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99. And the link for that pick is in the description section below. And just a reminder, if you sign up for that $2.99 package here today, you're actually going to get access to that content every single day, all the way through the end of January. It actually works out to be just 12 cents a day if you sign up here today. But anyway, when it comes to this Golden State-New Orleans game, it's actually the Warriors who may be going to work here today without their star, Stephen Curry. Curry's been downgraded to doubtful as he's dealing with a quad injury. He was quoted as saying he's not optimistic he's going to play. But anyway, Iguodala and Porter, they are both still questionable to play tonight as well. So the Warriors a little bit banged up here. The Warriors also, they already failed to cover in 3 out of their last 4 ball games. And without Curry in the lineup, these guys could potentially struggle at the stripe even more if they end up getting fouled. The Warriors are already in the bottom 5 in the NBA in shooting from the foul line on the road, and that's when they're mostly healthy. They're actually making just 75% of their free throws in that particular category. And although there's really not too much you can nitpick at when it comes to Golden State, they do tend to put on the brakes in the second quarter. They're currently in the bottom 10 in second quarter scoring. So if you're into prop betting, think about that. Maybe take a second quarter under, or maybe take the Pels, plus the points in the second quarter. But, keep that in mind. Golden State is in the bottom 10 in second quarter scoring. Now, Golden State, they're taking on a Pelicans team who actually successfully covered the point spread in 4 out of their last 6 at home. The Pels are also one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the league. They currently find themselves in the top 5 in offensive rebounding per contest at home. And of course, Brandon Ingram, he's averaging over 22 points a night, along with 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Meanwhile, the big man, Jonas Valanciunas, he's actually drilling 44% of his 3 balls, and he's scoring 18 points a game along with a dozen boards. You almost want to see the big man maybe take more shots from beyond the arc. He's been pretty good shooting from 3-land. Now, rebounding-wise, like I said, Valanciunas, he's averaging a dozen boards a game. And speaking of boards, the Pelicans are in the top 3 in defensive rebounding at home as well. So doing a very good job of getting boards on both ends of the court. Now, injury-wise, Satoransky is sitting this one out here tonight for the Pels. He's currently in virus protocols. And when it comes to the total in this one, New Orleans saw unders against Utah, Portland, and San Antonio here recently. Meanwhile, for Golden State on the other side of things, they saw 4 out of their last 7 fall under the posted number themselves. 65% to the under in all of their road games. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the New Orleans Pelicans +3 and the under 213.5. Next ball game, actually working backwards a little bit here. Next game, it is going to be Celtics versus the Knicks, and that's going to be a 7:30 Eastern start time. Boston is -1 with a total at 207.5. And speaking of the total in this one, the Celtics saw 2 out of their last 3 ball games get over the posted number. Overs against the likes of Orlando and Phoenix during that span. As a matter of fact, 5 out of Boston's last 9 contests got over the line as well, throwing out that San Antonio game. Meanwhile, the Knicks on the other side of things, they recently saw meetings with Toronto, Washington, and Houston get over the posted total themselves. And when it comes to picking a winner in this one, this game's actually being featured as my NBA tier package pick on BrockPage.com, where we are currently hitting at 63% in our last 38 NBA tier package picks in that category. So if you want to see whether I like New York getting the job done at home, or if I like Boston laying the point on the road, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my NBA tier package pick on BrockPage.com. And the link for that pick is in the description section below. But as far as making a free pick goes for this contest, I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the over 207.5 in that ball game. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Pistons versus the Grizzlies, and that's going to be an 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Memphis is minus 12.5 with the total at 218. But despite winning their last 6 straight, the Grizzlies may have to go to work here this evening without Dillon Brooks and a host of other players. And as a matter of fact, it's Brooks and Melton who are currently questionable. Anderson, Bain, and Pons, they are listed as doubtful. And a couple more guys, Terry, Tillman, and Concher, they are sitting this one out due to COVID. And I'll tell you this much, even when they are healthy, the Grizzlies are doing a poor job of guarding the 3-ball this year. They're currently in the bottom 3 in the NBA in defensive 3-point percentage. Meanwhile, offensively on the other end of the court, the Grizzlies have done a pretty bad job shooting from the stripe as well, as they're also in the bottom 10 in that particular category. Now, they're squaring off against a Detroit squad who got the W in 2 out of their last 3 ball games, with victories over the likes of Milwaukee and San Antonio during that stretch. And as bad as the Pistons are, make no mistake about it, we're not going to sugarcoat it. This is a bad team. But as bad as the Pistons are, they've also successfully covered the point spread against the likes of Miami and Indiana within their past 10 outings as well. So these guys are not helpless with regard to the number. Cade Cunningham should be in the lineup here tonight. He's scoring over 15 points a game along with 6 boards and 5 assists. Meanwhile, teammate Sadiq Bey, he's scoring 15 points a game himself along with 6 boards and 2.5 assists as well. And although the Pistons really haven't done all that much right this season, they do tend to score a bunch of points late in games. So there's always that backdoor cover potential with these guys. As a matter of fact, Detroit finds themselves in the top 10 in the NBA in fourth quarter scoring on the road. So even if these guys get down big early in the game or they get down big in the third quarter, you may not want to change that TV channel, because these guys are always alive. These guys score a lot of points late in games. Now, injury-wise, Joseph, Stewart, Livers, and Smith, they are all listed as questionable for the Pistons. And when it comes to the total in this one, Detroit saw 4 out of their last 6 get over the posted total. They also went 60% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, Memphis, on the other side of things, saw 4 out of their last 7 get over the posted total themselves. I'm going to lean toward Detroit plus 12.5 in the over 218. With that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Clippers versus the Suns, and that's going to be a 10 o'clock Eastern start time. Phoenix is minus 10.5 with the total at 221. Now, Phoenix got the W in their last 2 straight. They also went 7-3 straight up in their last 10. These guys win a lot of basketball games. The Suns are actually winning 80% of their ball games at home, and they're currently first in the NBA in shooting from the field. Now, Devin Booker is averaging 23 points a game along with 5 rebounds and 4 assists. Book's also drilling 42% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, Mikal Bridges is draining 41% of his 3 balls himself. Dozen points a night for Mikal. Now, the Suns are currently in the top 3 in scoring on average per contest, top 3 in offensive rebounding at home. Meanwhile, defensively on the other end of the court, they're limiting their competition to just 103 points a night in Phoenix. Now, they're taking on a Clippers team who's going to work here tonight without Zubac, Kennard, and Preston. Meanwhile, Boston and Batum, they are listed as questionable as well. The Clippers lost 7 out of their last 10 ball games, and they currently have themselves a losing record on the road. Now, the Clippers are also one of the worst rebounding teams in professional basketball. They're currently in the bottom 3 in both offensive and defensive rebounding on the road. when it comes to the injury report. Once again, Batum and Boston, they are questionable to play here tonight for Los Angeles. Meanwhile, for the Suns on the other side of things, McGee, Crowder, Nader, Shamet, and Ayton, they are all sitting this one out here tonight as well. Now, when it comes to the scoring in this one, the Suns saw unders recently against Charlotte, OKC, and the Lakers. Phoenix also went 6-3 to the under in their last 9 meetings with the Clippers. So if you're into historical trends, these teams tend to go under, at least over the past couple of seasons. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, LA saw contests with Boston, Denver, and Sacramento recently fall under the posted number themselves. I'm going to lean toward Phoenix minus 10.5 and the under 221. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are currently 2-0 in our last couple of extra daily picks on that website. I like the Pelicans plus 3 under 213.5. I also like the over 207.5 in the Boston-New York Knicks game. Give me Detroit plus 12.5 over 218. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are currently hitting at 63% in our last 38 NBA tier package picks on brockpage.com. I'm going to lean toward the Phoenix Suns minus 10.5 and the under 221. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. If you guys do end up getting a membership here today on my website, just keep in mind you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on brockpage.com, you're going to get access to that content all the way through the end of January. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. And if you want to get access to every single pick that I give out on that website, you may want to think about signing up for my board member tier, where board members get access to every single pick that I give out on that website all the way through the end of January as well. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.